done on complete closed road conditions. Definitely just not on the street.
A very long overdue welcome back to the channel, guys. Last I checked, it's been about 8 months since I posted last. Had a few things over the winter break that got in the way of doing our projects, as you guys are probably familiar with. Been a lot of changes too. No more beard, now more stucco. We've also been doing a little bit of work around the shop. Created a little bit of an extension here in the workshop. I was just running out of space with all the parts and materials and a couple of extra tools that I've gotten, so I was spending about half an hour every time coming in here cleaning up before I could actually do anything. So that's been really good. Nice low cost budget build. Basically a $300 shed and a bit of sweat and $200 worth of concrete, and we've got a nice 3x3 metre extension, which is awesome. Over the winter break, we bought my nephew a new car, the world's most reliable car, an Alfa Romeo 159. That was a battle. We got it for just under $2,000, and that car is probably worth about $8,000. But it certainly bit us a couple of times. There was and gearbox out, clutch replacement, and a couple of the other components that regularly go wrong in that car. I really wish I filmed it in hindsight, but we thought we had a good one. Regardless of all those repairs, with us doing the work, he's still well ahead on that car, and hopefully that serves him well. We've also, over the winter break, been doing renovations at the family house in Paynesville. That's taken up a monstrous amount of our time. And to be perfectly honest, we were sort of at a stage when we left you last where we were basically needed to get into paint. And being as it's quite cold down here in the southeast of Australia, painting over winter, especially in your backyard, probably isn't the best idea with the temperatures. So once the weather cleared up, Adolfo was obviously over the break, bogging, sanding, getting everything ready for paint, and we've painted quite a number of panels now, which we're going to show you after I stop waffling on. So for this episode, we're going to show you obviously what I just said, Adolfo's painting stuff. We're going to do a couple of repairs here at my shop. We're going to do the seat box repairs and perhaps a few other little auxiliary items that I've been putting off. And most importantly, either this weekend or the next weekend, we plan to drive this thing for the first time with basically the frame, the bulkhead, and just whacking the seat box on. Adolfo's busy putting in the controls like the pedals and stuff like that and some of the wiring loom. So we'll actually get to see the thing move under its own power, which is absolutely awesome. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. Let's get to the action. So here we have the seat box. Surprisingly, I didn't have high hopes for this. I thought it'd be a lot worse than what I actually found out, but this thing is actually in reasonable condition. I mean, there's a couple of splits in the ends here. There's a little bit of sort of, well, not corrosion, aluminium doesn't really corrode, but it's sort of worn away with the interactions with the steel, which isn't too bad. I don't know if I'm going to patch that or not yet, or because that actually sits under the brackets, which I'll show you in a minute. I'm not sure what we'll do there. It might not be worth putting the heat in there because it doesn't really affect the structural integrity of the thing. So I'm going to have a think about that. But what does have to get repaired is, as you can see by the daylight there, she's quite corroded just in the box. So we're going to just do a big full patch of the majority of that sort of footwell there. Not a footwell, but you know what I mean. That little container there that sits under the seat. We've also got the rails that I've taken off. The aluminium components are in really good nick. The rails are also in really good condition. The only one is this particular one, where there's some repairs to do in there, but I mean, that's really not that big a deal. So give me a minute and we'll get into it. so we've cut the patch, we've cut the hole. Let's see how we did. Will she fit? A little bit of material to come off, but not too bad. Let's zap her up. All done. So the name of the game here, ladies and gentlemen, is heat management, which is always the case I've found with this sheet metal and stuff. Just spreading the heat around as best as you can. There's a little bit of doming that's going to happen whenever you try and do this flat stuff. But if you can manage your heat, you can minimise that fairly well. So I've got really good penetration on these welds. I'm not going to weld the underside. I am going to clean up these welds a little bit with the grinder, and that will be job done. There's a few pop rivets that have come off here that need to be replaced, which is not a big deal. But yeah, clean this up and then we'll get on to the rail. Alright, now let's get on to some of these rails. So we've pop riveted that, the flooring's fixed, and that's squared away. Now obviously we knew about the corrosion on this particular rail, but this is why I always use the old wire wheel, because it never lies. I've also got a little bit of a hole to fix up on this one. So we'll get into that quickly and we'll call this little project done. So we've got the all the cancerous crap cut out. You saw me bang up a quick bracket. I've got that roughly tacked in now. This other one, this is a pretty simple square patch, so we won't even bother showing you that, but I'll quickly zap this bad boy up. You've seen me weld a million times before, and we'll grab all these bits here, plus a foot weld, and we'll head over to Adolfo's and see if we can get some bits on the car. And here she is. She looks a little bit different than the last video all those months and months ago. Adolfo has been doing a mountain amount of work. The painting's been done and, well, you can just see it.
The air filter's just in temporarily, it's not fully hooked up yet, but it'll do. I've also started putting the electrical harnesses in. What I've done with them in, I've just put them in and separated them all individually. So when we get to that, there'll be another video. I've marked each and everything, what they are. I've studied the guide, the wiring diagram. It was done by a guy in Perth for me, did a fantastic job. Easy to follow, highly recommend it. So
how much was that again? It wasn't cheap.
No, it was about 600 Aussie.
That's not too bad.
$700 Australian. So everything's marked. The only thing I've got upstairs is I've got the original Lucas plug for this, because he did wire it up correctly for the era, but these days these are the only alternators you can get for them, and they don't go off this anymore. They don't go off the plug and the thing. Now I believe all that does, that wire just shows up that it's got a charge. That's your little yellow light on the dashboard, and that's what sends power to the battery. So they're pretty simple, but this has got 3 connections in. I think it's the middle one. So I've got the actual original Lucas plug. I'll do that. I'll put that in. That's just fixed so it doesn't get tied up. Clutch is in, brakes are in, clutch is in. Pretty much, I can't remember how it went. I know that's the earth, which the original hole is still there too, which is good. But I can move this to suit. I've just put the starter solenoid in just temporarily. It's not tight because I'll probably wire it up out here, but it's not going to fall out for now. And I can't remember how these ran, but that's easy. We'll sort that out. That's in. The temperature gauge is in. The pressure gauge is in down there. And that's pretty much all there is to these. So I've just temporarily put this on because if we do go for a drive, I don't want something to fall in the carburetor, or it's just the way it should be, really. So,
Talk about the seals you revived.
yeah, so I've been having troubles finding the original grommets. I can get them from England, but they want like $25 each for them and $25 delivery. And rather than using the new generic ones that you get here, like they're available, but the hole size is always different and they're not as stretchy as those ones because you've got to get all these wires through the grommet. It's like, for example, these are new ones. It's hard to get the original hole size that this fits in nice and tight. But anyway, so what I did was, again, that's from the old bulkhead as well. I've been soaking them in .4, which apparently works, and they are coming around. Look, I mean, this one just has to have the speedo cable through, and one of them has to have the heater control cable through. Then the other one's blank, so we're right. This is just a spare. This is again a wiring harness one, but I use the better one. But that's come back around too. These are, you could imagine, this was off the original bulkhead. That come around really good, but it's broken, so I'm not going to use that. Someone cut it and put it around, but that's fine. You know, worst case scenario, that's what you have to do. You're not going to pull the wiring out to put a grommet in, so I don't blame him for doing that. So, but they come back. That's just a bit of .4, at least 48 hours. And she come back around, and apparently you clean them up, and you spray them with that isotopic alcohol or whatever, and a bit of Armour All after that, and you're all done. And that come out good.
Alright, so we'll go back in time a little bit. We got some videos to show you the painting process and a couple of videos on fabricating and flaring out the brake lines. Clutch cables, sorry, not the brake lines. And we'll move that little project there, which is a bit of a love job for a friend, which we might do a video on. And yeah, we'll check back here in about 5 minutes.
We've finally come to the bit we've all been waiting for. I've procrastinated enough with it. We're going to spray the radiator support panel, the bulkhead pieces for now, and then we're going to start putting the car back together. I've just got a few bits I'm going to spray today. We're going to see how it looks before we get too far into it. You don't see a lot of this. Just want to see what the colour's like. I've had it pre-mixed. Give it a stir. That's roughly the colour we've got. So this is 1 to 1.5. We'll put some clear on it. As I said, we'll just do these for now, then we'll stop. I'll do the rest of the panels all in one hit, because this will make us continue with the rest of the car. We'll get the car with the power in it, we'll be able to put the brakes, the clutch, a whole lot in it. So, we'll have a quick go at it. Luca's going to give me a hand. Give it a good couple of coats. Still a bit left. I'll let it flash dry a bit. Look, these are bits that you're going to see them. They're going to be important. We'll give it all another couple of coats. I mean, it's just so hard to hit everything. There's a bit of paint left. But yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. We'll give it another coat. I'm really happy with this. If this dries half as good as that, there's no runs or anything on that. So, once it's hard, and it runs a bit, we'll keep going. I'll give it another couple of coats anyway. Okay, I've got the bulkhead up now. It's been sanded. I've done all the joins. You've seen videos of this, I think, before. But it has been sitting a while. We've been distracted with another project. We bought another car for my son and took up a little bit of time to get that going. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to prep this, get the tack cloth on it, get rid of all the crappy stuff that's on it, and then we're going to go for it.
It's an incredible feeling. There's nothing like it on Earth. We've got the oxygen tanks on the side of stage. We're taking cars out. It's well known.
So now what we're going to do is, I'm not going to polish these. I'll leave them unpolished. But what we are going to do now is put the radiator in, put the bulkhead on, put the electricals in. We might spray paint the aluminium bits. Now with the aluminium bits, so these two bits of metal, obviously I spray painted the tunnel just to see how it went. We're going to use a 2-pack epoxy undercoat, then another undercoat on top of that, an acrylic undercoat. Then we'll spray it with the acrylic. So, yeah. See how we go. Look, it doesn't look too bad. So, yeah, no, it looks okay. Looks okay. We're going to get away with it. What I have here is a brake line flaring tool I bought. Now, it's just a cheap one. It's a rip-off of one of the expensive ones. But I've run a few test flares through it, and it works quite well. So it doesn't do a bad job for a cheap tool, and it's much better than the ones that with the mandrel in them. So to do it, you're meant to just do that, unhook that, put that in the thing, set it at 45. These are 45-degree flares. Poke it out just a smidge, just a fraction. Lock it in. Just tighten it a little bit. You set this to the 0 setting. Jam it all the way back. Then lock it off. Then this is 1/4 inch pipe, so you've got operation 1, 1/4 inch. And that is already enough to do your bubble flare. If you're doing bubble flares, that's already enough. And that's a pretty good job. I didn't even lubricate that or anything. But we're not doing we're doing a double flare. So we'll set it back again. Let's make sure that's all the way back. Put that there. Tighten. Then you go to operation 2, 1/4 inch. That one. And perfection. Absolute perfection. So the only disadvantage to this tool is, obviously you can't use it in situ, so you can't use it in the car like the portable ones. But the trade-off is, instead of spending half an hour with a hammer getting shit flares, you end up with fantastic looking flares every time. Have a look there, that's going to be perfect because when you tighten this, that flare's going to grab, you can't leak. And this on the inside, all the way up, that'll hit that, and that won't leak either. So that's really good.
Alright. Done on complete closed road conditions. Definitely just not on the street. Smooth. Very smooth. How funny is this? Yep, you do need second. That's a bit smoother. Bumps coming, bumps coming. That's not too bad. Oh, you're going that way. Shit, okay. Awesome. I mean, they're not known for their comfort, but this is a little bit excessive. Oh. Back we come. Well, it changes gear. Oh, this is great. This is a big moment for us. It's been over 2 years and she's moving under her own power. This is just awesome. This is just awesome. We got somebody seems to be on our private road. We'll just wait for them to go past. I'm not sure if they've got permission or not, but that's okay. Oh, how smooth! Look at this. Fantastic. Where are we going now? Oh shit! Alright. I'm going to put this camera down. Oh, no, I should be right. I think we're going to be testing out reverse now. Visibility's excellent, to be fair. No blind spots at all at the moment.
This is going to be a test.
Here we go. Can we not stall it? Well done. Nicely done. Whoa, camera work's suffering a little bit, but that's okay. Alright. Humming along nicely. Right. Yeah, private road is clear. Oh. Right. Oh.
Put it back.
Very good.
Put it back.
Yeah, put it back. There's camera number 3 just on the corner. High budget operation we got going on here. All right. I'm gonna shut this down now. We'll get this back inside. See you guys. You want to back it in?
Yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah, that's going to be a night lifting.
Oh, Oh yeah, you're ruined. I should move this back.